Trane heat pump, 2010, 15-seater, 3-ton, 2-story house. We put this unit in 15 years ago, so it's still alive and kicking in 2025. 2-story house. This is one of the ones that got built a little cheaper than normal. They just put one system on a 2-story house and didn't even put zoning on it. And to be honest, he had the option when it was replaced, and he didn't do it. So it is what it is. Outdoor units out here, and the indoor units in the attic. I'm hoping we don't have to get it in the attic. He's got the breaker turned off. He did say that it came home from some event, I guess, with the kids, and it wasn't working. Came outside, the outdoor unit wasn't working, so he turned the breaker off. So I'm just gonna pop the panel off first and dust this thing out a little bit, and then we'll turn it on, see what happens. So this one's got the old control in it here for the, that's for the crankcase heater, with the sump heater on the compressor, defrost board in it, and looks like that's been replaced before because it's bent. That's the original frame. That's a jarred capacitor, not a Trane, so I know that's been replaced before. So maybe that's what it is again. Let's turn the breaker on, see what happens. Yeah. Huh. Well, that's our buzz. Fan's not running. That's not going to reach in there. I was trying to. Sometimes you can get them to jump start even when the capacitor's dead or slightly weak. But it's not going to start on its own, that's for sure. So let's test that capacitor and see what it's doing. I'm going to assume it's dead, and I sure am hoping that that is the problem. Had a few this week. We've probably, I think between the 15 technicians and me and the other supervisor, we've probably gone through, I think they said this morning, 40 capacitor replacements in the last week. It's been hot here. Not the hottest place in the country, I'm sure, but it's been heat indexes of 110, 115, humidities 70s and 80s, very little rain, very little relief, and dew points in the 70s. It's just been hot and humid, temperatures in the upper 90s every day. I think the last 2 nights it didn't get below 80 degrees outside, and that will ruin a capacitor with a little bit of age on it, that's for sure. So let's see what we've got going on. Get the old meter out. And test it and see what it is. Almost certain that's what the problem is. Yeah, another capacitor video on YouTube. That's all you guys need, right? But it is a common problem in places where it gets hot. They get weak, wear and tear, a little age on them. Then you get these long run times. They get hot, they pop, they go dead. It is what it is. They do not make them like they made them back in the day, that's for sure. Oh. So this one is reading 0.03 on the Herm side. And got 0.13 on the fan side. So let's see what size it is and go get one. I did restock a few capacitors this morning, so I should have one of these. Probably gonna be a 40 or a 45 possibly. Yeah, 45 by 5. So let me go grab one. Alrighty, I do have one. And look at this shit right here. Look at it. Look how much small, same capacitor. Look how much smaller they're getting. Where's that thing at? Made in Mexico. Assembled. That was assembled in Mexico. So do I assume that these were made somewhere else? The top was made somewhere else? The fluid was made somewhere else? Maybe the shell was made somewhere else, just assembled in Mexico? I don't know. Look how smaller that thing is. That's absurd. But anyway, that's what we have. That's what's going in. Crazy. Crazy. Oh. See, the common wire melted off at some point in time, probably because it wasn't put on tight. I didn't tighten these things and it melted, and there's a new wire on there. So anyway, let's get it. Yeah, it went on there kind of loose. I'm probably gonna have to snug all these down a little bit before I put them on there, because I don't want the on-call guy to be back out here on Saturday running behind me. That wouldn't look good. So I'm at least gonna tighten my wires up and eliminate that. And then when we get it on, we'll check the charge on it and all that good stuff. So when you tighten these wires, what you're looking to kind of do is on the bottom of it right there. You want to squeeze it down. Not at the top, but towards the bottom. Just kind of crimp on it a little bit, and then it'll slide back on there tighter, and you'll have a more secure connection. Fan wire. That one's tight. Need to tighten that one. It's tight. Obviously, unlike the last one, before I turn it on, make sure my common for my fan and the contactor's on the right one for common, compressor is on Herm, and fan is on fan. Alright, let's turn the breaker back on. Alrighty. And we have air conditioning. So let me check the charge first. Alrighty, so we got this thing back on. It's been on for about 5 minutes. I'm gonna let it run a little while. It's hot in there. It's about 80 downstairs and about 88 upstairs. Unit calls for a 10-degree subcooling. We're running 153, 346, 14 superheat, 8.5 subcool, plus or minus 3 on this particular unit. So we'll let it run for about another 10 minutes. Let it circulate some of that air. Yeah, 100 degrees takes these things out, man. The last 2 days it's been a high of 100. The day before yesterday I think was 100, 101, but the humidity was horrible. Heat index was like 115. And we had a couple of guys struggling. Make sure they're out there drinking their water and staying hydrated, but 100 degree heat, long run times on weak capacitors, they will take them out in a heartbeat, especially the good old Jard. But anyway, guys, another capacitor, so you appreciate these little simple calls. Yesterday I was in an attic. It was about 128 degrees, rewiring a zone board and redoing all that mess, and that was not fun. So when these come along, you kind of appreciate them. This thing seems to be running fine. Now we're up to a 9 degree subcool, 13.5 superheat, so I think we're gonna be okay. You got lucky on this one. 15 years old though, and looking at the history, this particular unit's never had a coil put in it, never had a compressor put in it. That capacitor was replaced about 6 or 7 years ago. But other than that, got the original fan motor, so that must have been the kind of the time frame when changes started happening with QC. But anyway, appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.